Hi, this is Mo with the Unsteady Hand. This is the second in our hopefully long series of In One Take. We're talking about creativity and Parkinson's and stuff like that. This is Lonnie Serey. He's a friend of mine. He's been joining us for about a year and a half. I don't think he's missed a lab
already.
Yeah, I don't think you've missed a lab. Maybe one. I don't even think one. But anyway, what we're really doing here is a shout out to Copper and the Peak Arts Prize. Last year we won a grant from them, a pretty significant amount, and I wanted to kind of do a little video about what impact those funds and the funds that people in general give us have on us as a community of people with Parkinson's. So I thought rather than write this long story and post it on my website that nobody would look at, we'd have a chat with Lonnie about the Unsteady Hand and creativity and what the impact has been for him, because that's what we're here about, right?
The Unsteady Hand has been a big impact for me. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 3 years ago, and long before that time I met Mo, who had a young guy with a plan, and his impact has been tremendous on people with Parkinson's, because you need to be able to express yourself, you need to have self-worth, and the Unsteady Lab, we only have one rule there: you don't talk about Parkinson's.
Right. And the cool thing about that rule, I never actually made that rule. You know that? The quick story, I'll tell this fast version. The first lab, I was going to make one rule, and the rule was you're not allowed to talk about Parkinson's at the lab. It's like Fight Club. That's, the Fight Club rule. But I was so nervous and so excited, the first lab, I totally forgot to make the rule and tell anybody. So we did the lab, and for 2 hours, nobody talked about Parkinson's. It was the best thing in the world. Had I made the rule, it would have been phony and fake, and we would have had to think about it. But we did make the rule. I did make the rule. And it just happened. And for like a year and a half, I think there's a little chit chat about Parkinson's coming in, a little chit chat on the way out. But for those 2 hours, we're focused on something else, right? I mean, I am. I don't know about you.
Because the creativity, we don't want to say art, but your creativity allows your brain to clear itself from Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Which is just a godsend, because Parkinson's just wants to take over your brain. So for 2 hours, we can enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Without worrying about, did I draw this wrong, or did I do this wrong, or it's not right. There's no rules. It's all right.
Right. Happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents.
What's your favorite media? Like, what's your favorite thing to do? Like, so far we've done a lot. We've done tons and tons of things. What's your fave? Top 2, top 3?
Well, I've been getting into colored pencils. That's something I hadn't done for a while.
Right.
I'm enjoying that. And watercolor is something I really couldn't deal with, but I'm starting to get into that.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been doing some chalk pictures.
Right. Some pastels.
I did mine with sidewalk chalk.
Right. You told me. Yeah.
And covered it with hairspray when I was done.
Right.
And you'll see there's a hot air balloon I drew.
Yeah.
And that was outlined in sidewalk chalk. But I'm going to try some pastels too and see how they work.
Yeah. Cool. And I guess one of the things that we kind of hope as an organization, personally I hope, is that the Institute has an impact beyond the 2 hour labs. Beyond those 2 hours we spend once a month together. Has there been an impact that you feel like creativity or the labs or just being a part of our group has helped beyond those 2 hours in your life, or is it just those 2 hours are your escape? And
no, the 2 hour escape shows you that you can do more than what you think you can do.
Yeah.
And the paintings and the artwork that I do at home, I spend 2, 3, 4 days a week sometimes doing art at home.
Yeah, neat.
But I'm also a ham radio operator, and it's allowed me to be able to get back into my ham radio and getting it set up and enjoying that. So I think it frees your mind of all the clutter long enough to be able to do something.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I think another point, kind of back to the Peak Arts Prize real quickly, that the funds that they gave us, that people in general give us as donors, organizations give us, one of the things we're doing now is a lending box, where we have a box of art supplies, pastels, watercolors, paper, you name it, that people can take home during the month that we're off to do stuff like Lonnie's doing at home. Because we as an organization don't want people doing art 2 hours a month. We want people doing art, like Lonnie said, 4 or 5 times a day, week.
And that's a great thing too, because a lot of people might not be able to afford the paints and the
Right.
papers and things, and
Right.
intimidation of wanting to do it but can't afford it makes it great for somebody to be able to have the opportunity to not only not worry about paying for it, but the ability to try it at home where they're not being watched, and if they have to throw it in the trash can, they throw it in the trash can and start it again.
Right. Like, for example, Lonnie has a nice new set of charcoals and pencils and stuff that the Unsteady Hand is letting him borrow. That he's going to experiment with charcoal and graphite for the first time. And that's just kind of, that's important to us. And that's the kind of things that your funds support, which is important to us, you know. And the other fun thing is we use the good stuff. We don't use the cheap Walmart stuff. We use the stuff that's high pigment, pops off the paper, and kind of guarantees success, right? When you use good art materials and nice paper, you're like guaranteed, it just happens, right?
It happens. You just let it happen.
Yeah.
But another thing that I've enjoyed doing with the Unsteady Hand, this sounds kind of corny, but on Facebook I've been having fun doing birthday fundraisers and different kinds of fundraisers just because I want to get the word out there. I want people to understand how much this means to somebody with Parkinson's to have the ability to not only do something but feel good about what they're doing and not have to pay for what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, our programming is free, so anybody who wants to join us, please join us. That's paid. The Parkinson's Foundation actually pays everybody's studio fee. We used to have a studio fee, and we got a grant from the Parkinson's Foundation, and they amazingly pay our studio fees for us, so that's cool. So that's about all I got. Do you have any other things you want to, like, just like creativity thoughts or Parkinson's thoughts that you want to share before we wrap up? That are just, it doesn't have to be about anything in particular?
If you have Parkinson's or you don't have Parkinson's, come to the Unsteady Hand. Especially if you don't have Parkinson's, come and see how that Unsteady Hand helps us and impacts us while we're there. See the lightness that people have, and just don't let Parkinson's take you over. Just do it one day at a time.
Yeah, drawing outside the lines, right?
Yep.
Yeah, reimagining Parkinson's. That's what we try to do here. So, I want to thank Lonnie for spending some time with us today and opening up his house to us and letting me sit in Sue's chair on top of 3 pillows, so I'm not 12 inches shorter than him. And that's about all we have for today. You can visit us at theunsteadyhand.org. You can email me at mo@theunsteadyhand.org, and we also have a fairly significant Facebook presence. We try and post about art and creativity and Parkinson's, and sometimes the combination of the two. So, on that note, I think we'll wrap up. Once again, a big shout out to the Peak Arts Prize for last year. Vote for this year, please. There's 3 great organizations looking to get a grant this year that could certainly have an impact on other people in other communities. So with that, we'll say goodbye. We'll sign off.
Nice to have you come by, Mo.
It's nice to be here. And we will sign off with the idea of how about embracing the tremor?
Embracing the tremor.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, bye-bye.
Bye.